Hey, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. We're going to take a look at this little machine. I've done a pump work video once already, and so this is going to continue on. If you have your pump, this is the Minimed 780G pump, and you just press this arrow. Sorry, just give me a moment. Press that arrow, it'll get you that. And then you press this arrow, it'll get you to your graph. Now these graphs are kind of nice, kind of give you a look at your last 24 hours. If we go, whoops, sorry. Oops, back. Okay, so we press it again. And go down. Just 1 second. Okay. I figured it out. Sorry, it was the wrong screen. This screen, go here, and then that'll give you your rate for the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, I've been at 92% time in range. We go below again, and it breaks it down for us. What we're used to seeing on this channel as, I should have had this ready, but I'm not, wasn't ready, is we usually see this is now condensed into this. So all of these graphs are great for you to help diagnose your diabetes, not diagnose, sorry, but to monitoring how your diabetes is going. Still go with your doctor's answer, but when you go in and see your doctor and he or she asks, is there anything else? Well, you have an answer to that. I've noticed my blood sugar is doing this. In my video yesterday, I sat with my endocrinologist and we discussed blood sugar and gastroparesis, and I had the information that I would be able to discuss with my endo. So, another interesting feature here is, let's go back. If you go back to this and you press enter and you go to temp target, you can set a temporary target. It can only be set at 8.3. You can't modify that. That's going to stay. But you'll get a little green man that'll look like he's running across your screen for the amount of time you set it up. Lately, I've been using that for 12 hours at night, and that keeps my blood sugar higher than normal. It's a tool we're using to monitor my progression. Now, this pump, using these techniques, is pretty well how it's controlling me. And that's important because my blood sugars, I almost got kicked out of my long-term care because my blood sugars were going berserk and the doctor didn't know how to achieve control, and that drove him crazy. I mean, my endo discussed with him, but it still wasn't the best. So Temporary basal or temporary target. I keep calling it temporary basal. So if I say temporary basal, I mean the temporary target feature is meant to, if you're running or doing some sort of exercise, hence the little man running there, you can set the temporary target to be that high, and the pump for the duration of time you can set from 1 hour up to infinity, I guess. You can set it and forget it. And then once that temporary target range has run its course, it will go back to the normal reading. I did my first one was for 24 hours. And I'd watch and the little guy. When you're using your temporary target, you don't get any of the correction feature. The pump will not offer correction. So it's going to just try to keep you up at around 8.3. That's how I can get, I'll just show you on my big pump. That's how I got that. By going up to 92% temporary target, and that's allowing me to stay in range. You could use it like I'm using it. We talked about running, exercise. If you're sick, the pump will try to keep you up at 8.2, and working harder if you go higher than that. It's At first I was kind of leery about utilizing this, but it actually has worked quite well. And I don't know if I'm getting used to being at 8.2, where I was 7 or 6 was where I was getting to be comfortable at. But now 8.2 seems to be okay. So your pump, while this is normal, you will have a double green line down here and a man running across the screen. He's stationary, but he'll be there. That's normal. It'll be there for the duration, and then it'll disappear. For example, last night I had a temporary basal on from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And at 6 a.m. today, my little man ran off, and I was 8.5, I believe. So it did a job all night. Excuse me. But you can keep monitoring, and it'll allow you just another tool to manage your diabetes. I have had positive effects with my own condition. Doesn't mean it'll necessarily work for everyone. Talk it over with your doctor before you need it. I didn't do that, and I kind of wish I knew about it beforehand. It may have been told to me when I went through the initial training of the pump, but I totally forgot about it. And my diabetic nurse brought it up and saying, well, you could try to do this. It worked. This pump has been a godsend to me. Yes, it's still attached by a tubing, but it still can work. Okay, so the 780G pump is Medtronic's latest, or it's Minimed now. They broke off into a separate company, but they're still insulin pumps best. I figured it's working for me. We figured out what configurations are working for me. You really should look at all aspects of your pump. I can't speak for the Omnipod pump because I've never used the Omnipod pump. When I was looking into it at the time, I'd always have to have another one of these machines, or, and if I forgot it, I'd be totally lost. And at that time in my life, it wasn't a good feature. I had always been with Medtronic, so the Minimed seemed to be the best pump choice for me. I knew how the pump worked, so we were aiming for a good thing. So that's how my pump works too. Have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye. My email address is Mike's Diabetes World at gmail.com. All one line. Drop me